How are you today?
Good, Melissa. How are you? I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. I'm doing well. Haley, you and I first met at the Fenway Women's Networking event. What made you say yes to that event, and how did that moment shape what happened next in your business?
It looks like an amazing opportunity. I mean, who doesn't love to go to Fenway Park? And just to be around 20 plus entrepreneurs and women was super exciting for me. I think I've realized at this point in kind of my business and where I am with life, surrounding myself with like-minded women, is the key to success.
For those meeting you for the first time, how would you describe who you are and the kind of travel experiences you create?
Yeah, so I think I kind of tell most people that I am a unique travel advisor. I bring things a little different to the table. I'm very hands-on with my clients. I really strive for client relationships. That's very, very important to me. I tell my clients that you get all of me when you hire me as your travel agent. So I do a lot of on calls, video calling, a lot of phone calls just to make sure my clients know exactly what they're getting when they book travel with me.
Awesome. You've shared that your journey into travel really started long before you became a full-time advisor. Can you talk about that turning point trip in Tuscany and how it transformed your career?
Yeah, for sure. I think coming into the industry right around COVID, when you couldn't really travel anywhere, I just had my son, so I was kind of limited to where I could really go and what I could do. Starting to sell a lot of Europe, and I knew it was time to really get myself to Europe and start diving in. Italy was where I wanted to go, and it was the best trip ever. I think getting there, kind of immersing myself into the culture, it was a game changer. I finally knew exactly where I was sending my clients, how to do it, the right way to do it, so that I could in turn come back and tell them everything that I've learned.
Amazing. You've worked in hospitality and even started in the restaurant world. How did those early jobs impact the way you serve your clients now?
I tell everybody, if you were ever a bartender, if you were ever a waitress, server, worked in the restaurant industry, then you can be a travel agent. It just, you learn how to take care of customers, right? When I was a bartender, I always said I had the real estate to do it, but it was me growing my own business there with my repeats, my regulars, and my customers that came in to see me all the time. That was the business that I was essentially growing as a bartender. You learn to read the room really quick. You know your client's needs, and you just take that and use that in travel as well.
I love that. I think that's a great place to pivot and ask about some things you have coming up. Talk a little bit about the new journey you're on.
Yeah, so I have decided to partner with a friend of mine, the CEO of Travel Birds that I've been working with for 5 years, Bird. And we are launching a new host agency. So with the host agency, we're super excited. We are looking for a way to kind of change the travel industry, to open up an area where travel advisors who currently already have their own business, maybe they're not happy with a current host, need more support to really grow their business, they have a place to come to do that. Not only that, anybody who's new coming into the business has no idea where to start. We're looking at it as an opportunity to get these women in. And I say women because, of course, men too, but I work more with women at the end of the day, is what it comes down to. A place to come in and just grow, learn the business and grow.
It's so exciting. I can't wait to see you thrive in that area. And
Thanks.
I chose to pivot at that point because where you said if anybody's worked in hospitality, they can do this. So maybe that's a point where you start picking up new advisors or
Oh, I was thinking about it. I'm like, I think about 6 or 7 years ago, if somebody came and sat at my bar and said to me, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing this? Call me." I probably would have, right? Bartending's fantastic, but the older you get, you're always looking for something more. Like something's missing of what you're doing, and maybe that's not true for everybody. This is just me, 20 years in the industry. So yeah, I've thought about it quite a bit. I need to go get all my bartender friends and help them lead the way.
I love that. A lot of people have booked travel before, but working with a luxury advisor is a completely different experience. What makes your approach unique?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, aside from booking your trip, there's a lot of travel advisors who do quotes and say, here's your quote, pay it, you're done. Here's your paperwork, go have an amazing trip. That's not what I do. It's not what we do at the Travel Birds. And at Sava, you can essentially do what you want, but we'll try to teach you the way that it's a proven process. So we are hands-on. We go through a lot of calls. We, set our clients up for success. But with a white glove service, we really provide dinner reservations, spa reservations. We always create a memory maker, is what we like to think of. So, for example, yesterday I was talking to a client who wants to go to Sicily and her heritage, and she has roots there. And she never thought about possibly connecting with somebody on her ancestry in Sicily. And for me to tell her that that's a possibility and it's something I can help give her back, it was like mind blowing to her. So those are kind of the examples of how we elevate travel for our clients.
I love that. You say luxury is not a price tag, it's a peace of mind. What does that look like in practice for your clients?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned doing this for so many years that, there's luxury travel, then there's not so luxury travel. And we definitely try to find a balance for people who maybe don't have the budget to do a luxury trip. But I always tell clients, there's just a level that we can't really compromise, right? The last thing I want to do is have you get to a country and stay in a property that you thought you were saving some money on, and then you're overly upset and it's just not exceeding your expectations. So I think that's super important to kind of point out to clients at the beginning. Um, I want to make sure they have an experience they never knew was possible. And that's kind of what I strive for.
That's such a great point. I think we've all had those travel experiences where we're going to a location, but then we're super disappointed with our with our choice of
Yeah, and
uh,
it does
day.
matter. Where you say absolutely matters, and people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be exploring all day. It's gonna matter when your plumbing backs up, when your room smells like cigarettes. It's going to matter, trust me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or I've had the experience where you can't breathe because there's just mold in that's
Yeah,
awful. That is not
exactly.
good. We don't
Yeah.
want those.
I'm
Pay
not
the higher
flying.
price and enjoy your
Yeah,
stay.
exactly. Thank you. I'm glad you understand.
When someone comes to you saying, I want Europe, but I don't know where to start, how do you guide them?
Yeah, that's another great question. I think I kind of take all the information that they give me in a consultation. I like to spend, 20, 30 minutes with my client, really understanding what they're looking for. Is there something that's been on their bucket list? Kind of budget comes into play and how much money they want to spend, where some European countries are much more expensive than others. Do you want beach? Do you want mountains? Are you okay with navigating a train? Did you want to rent a car? Who's going with you? Is it a couple or is it a family? There's so many different pieces of information to gather at the beginning to understand the right destination for them. But I've had clients who've come to me for like, hey, I want to go to the Caribbean. And I've been like, okay, but we have a really hefty budget. Why don't we go to Portugal? Right. And I've kind of pivoted on them and said, listen, Europe is absolutely beautiful. I love booking it, and clients love traveling there. And I love surprising clients too with destinations in Europe.
That's so fun. I can't wait to work with you. Um, Italy is your number one destination, correct?
Yes. Yep.
And the way you describe it makes people want to pack a bag today. What draws you to Italy? What makes your curated Italian itineraries so special?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the culture, the food, the culture. It's a big thing for me. We have some amazing vetted out tour operators, and I have just made some great partnerships in Italy that I absolutely just love the people. I love the people that I work with. So when you come to me to book Italy, not only are you getting me, but you're getting these amazing tour operators that live in Italy, that, have drivers in Italy, tour guides in Italy, that this is what they do all day, every day. Um, I don't know. I think it's just everything. It's so beautiful from start to finish. The second you arrive, it's absolutely beautiful. Even Rome being such a big city, you can just find so much beauty within it. Um, yeah, I love Italy.
France, London, and the Rhine River cruise come up often in your work. What do you wish more women knew about experiencing Europe through a luxury lens?
I think as far as there's just so many different possibilities, right? River cruising is something that has become very big in the past couple years, and I think a lot of people don't realize how amazing cruising on the rivers are. It's a great opportunity to see multiple countries in a short span of time. One of my best selling is probably the Rhine River Cruise, where you can start in Basel, Switzerland, and in Amsterdam, and from there you go through France and Germany. So it's a great trip for people who want to stay stationed in one room, who don't love to get up and move every couple of days, where they can just kind of go upstream or downstream and stop at these countries and have amazing day trips. So that I feel like I wish more people knew about river cruising, and it's something I primarily pitch to the right clients while I'm on a consultation with them. I just actually booked a couple Viking River cruises to the Danube. I have an older couple who is excited. They're doing ocean river cruise from Venice to Rome. So they're looping all of Italy in March. So they're really excited. But yeah, it's more people need to know about it. More people need to do it.
That's very cool. We've talked a lot about Europe, but you just got back from Alaska, so I'd be remiss not to ask about that trip and the puppy. Did you bring the puppy home?
No, no puppy. I wanted to, but we've always had German Shepherds, and I don't know much about Alaskan Huskies, so I wasn't willing to take the risk, but they're so damn cute. It just so happened that at the dog sledding place that we were, they just rescued a mom dog who just had the puppies 2 weeks ago. So they're actually adopting them because there was a storm about a month ago in Alaska. So a lot of dogs were displaced. So Alaska, absolutely beautiful. It was actually our company retreat. I'm going to be honest, it was never high on my bucket list. It was never something like, oh, I need to go to Alaska. But it was probably one of the best trips I've ever been on, to think about all the beauty we have in North America where we don't really, I feel like we kind of take it for granted in a sense. We're always kind of looking at other countries to go visit. Alaska's absolutely gorgeous, and put it on your list. It was a dream from start to finish.
Tell us more about Alaska. I want to hear about it. I want to live vicariously through you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a long travel. So getting there was definitely, yeah, I had to fly to Seattle from Boston, 6.5 hours, a layover, then 3 hours up to Anchorage. We stayed in Anchorage for the duration of the time, and we just did day trips. So we worked with the Alaska Tourism Board. They are fantastic. They hosted us very well. We did a lot of conferences as well. So our team gets together, and that's kind of our week to powwow, come up with all the ideas and help kind of elevate our business. And then, of course, we throw in the really cool things to do while we're there. We did some photo trekking. So we had a guide take us around and taught us how to use our iPhones. How many times you take pictures with your iPhones and you have no idea what you're doing? Because I know that's me firsthand. So we started off with that, and we got a little tutorial on how to take pictures for the week.
That
We did an amazing food tour. I love food. I think it's one of my favorite things of traveling is tasting all the things. And we did a trek to go chase the Aurora Borealis, so the Northern Lights. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see them with the naked eye. It was kind of a bummer, but you need a lot of magic to happen to actually see them. So when I do sell destinations for clients with the Northern Lights, I tell them it can happen. We can't control the, solar winds and all of that. So the hope is to see them, but we didn't. But now I have an excuse to go back, which I'm excited for. After that, we did hiking on Matanuska Glacier. Absolutely breathtaking. If you've never hiked a glacier before, do it. I can show you how to do it, where to do it. But it was just magical. It's, when you get there, you're in this fairy tale, and those moments for me are kind of like that aha moment. Like, look at this is, what I've done. It's just this feeling of accomplishment, right? Then after that, we did dog sledding. So we actually got to hang out with a four-time Iditarod champion. I don't know if you know what the Iditarod is, because I'm going to be honest, I didn't until this week. So for anybody who doesn't know what that is, it is a dog sledding race that takes place yearly in Anchorage, and they trek for over 1,000 miles. So yeah, it was pretty cool to hang out with him and at Happy Kennels, and we got to hang out with all the pups and learn about dog sledding and the sport as a whole, and it was pretty awesome. And then that was it. We had some great dinners in between and a lot of time to get to know each other. A lot of us work remote, so we do a lot of this Zoom. So it was nice to actually get to meet some newer advisors and see them face to face.
What was one of the biggest takeaways from learning about how to use your iPhone for taking pictures during the trip? That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I think it was live photos, which I've always hated live photos. I've never understood why a live photo. But once you do a live photo, there's actually a way to take all those. A live photo will take 15 small pictures and it puts it into that short little video clip. What you can do, there's a way to get into your live photos and change the settings, which then takes all 15 images and squishes it together into one image. So instead of seeing those 15 images and making a copy of that as your face image, you actually create a newer image with all your smaller images, which is pretty cool. So, for example, if you took a picture of like moving water on a stream, after you did this, it made it just look magical. I can't explain it. Like the ripple effects, everything changed in the actual quality of the picture itself.
That's really cool. I want to see that demoed. Um, Walk us through the part of travel planning that most people never see. What goes into creating those seamless moments your clients rave about?
Yeah, it's I tell clients when they come to me for a customized itinerary, it takes a while. It takes, several hours to kind of just start from finish, and depending on the actual type of trip, the client themselves and how we approach things, it's really just taking what they told me and turning it into something that not only logistically makes sense, but when I go back to the client, it's going to amaze them and wow them. So I always like to add in something that they didn't realize or know about to just get them excited about everything.
And you've planned group trips for 30 plus people as well as an intimate mother-daughter experience. What's the secret to making both feel personal and unforgettable?
Yeah, for sure. With a group of 30, it's definitely a little more challenging than a group of two. I think it's important to notate with every group, and I tell, with the team of advisors that I work with now, I always tell them the same exact thing. In that group of 30, you need to treat each person like they are your individual client. So, yeah, there's always going to be a lead, right? So, for example, I did a wedding to Iceland for 30 people and there was the bride and groom. But we also had the parents, we had the siblings, we had friends. So it was my job to make sure that each set of clients within the group knew that I was there. I was their point of contact. I was willing to create something unique and different for them on a day that maybe something else wasn't planned. So just making sure they know who you really are and that you're there for them as well is super important.
Amazing. You have so many beautiful client stories. Could you share one that really captures the heart of what you do?
Just one. Let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something recently. Okay, well, so recently I just had um a client refer another client to me. And they had 30 days before their travel dates and they want to spend 2 weeks in Italy. When a client comes to me with such a big ask, I am very open with them. I tell them what the challenges are going to be. And if this is something you truly need and want to do, we have to kind of move fast in that sense where availability will go like that. When we're looking at 30 days out, things will constantly change. I was really excited to do this because it was our 50th wedding anniversary. And 50 years to me is something just absolutely magical. So I'm like, okay, I have to do this. I have to figure out a way to make this happen. And I went in and took all of her wishes, found her amazing property. She was super excited about one property in Amalfi Coast. I was able to get a hold of the property and they were able to release a room for me. So just kind of making those dreams come true for them super last minute when they weren't expecting it. That for me is everything. That's why I do what I do.
Such a great story. I'm glad we captured that. You're stepping even more intentionally into the true luxury market. What does that look like for you in this next season?
Yeah, I think luxury is always, I mean, most travel advisors love the idea of luxury. I feel like when you do a luxury trip, it's easier for a client to fall in love with the trip, if that makes sense. I have started vetting out properties that I really know add that luxury touch to every trip that I do. I was just in Ireland a few weeks ago and we stayed at a property called Ashford Castle. And it was unbelievable. I mean, to me, it's kind of just a game changer in an elevation in your trip. When you arrive, you just have the best customer service. They treat you like royalty. I feel like you work really hard all the time. And some people only get to go on a vacation once every couple of years, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if it's something that you can only do short-lived and not as often, why not make that the best experience that you can have? So staying at a property like Ashford Castle, I think is something that everybody should do once in a lifetime because not only that, when you come back from travel, it kind of shifts your mindset and what you do in your day-to-day life. And you're like, I want more of that. Like, what else can I do? Right. So I think that's super important to creating an eye opener for clients, if that makes sense.
Definitely. But you're also stepping even more intentionally into bringing more travel advisors into your team. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have launched a sister company. It's called Saba Travel, and we are a host agency. So the idea of this is to really kind of shift the industry a little bit and create a space where current travel advisors or people who want to become travel advisors have this space to grow their business and really understand it. At the Travel Birds, we've been really successful because we do one-on-one coaching. We will always explain why having an assistant is so important. I have had an assistant now for 3 years in the business, and it has been a game changer for me. I have Nessie, who is my BFF, right? We are on the same wavelength, and she is amazing with my clients. She comes in and she's what I would call my guest experience manager. She will help with all the dinner reservations. She helps finalize and fine tune any details that maybe we've left out that we've waited last minute to kind of do. So having that admin support so you can really focus on sales and focus on your clients is super important. I think a lot of travel agents and travel advisors don't really look at that as an opportunity where we've kind of figured it out, right? At first, I was like, no, I don't want anyone talking to my clients, but they become your partner, right? They help you elevate your business and streamline everything. So that's kind of the approach we're taking at Saba of how we can help people kind of grow.
I love that. We can't do it all by ourselves. I'm like,
Exactly.
also
Yeah.
in the process of building up my team, we just can't do everything we want to do for our clients on our own. Um, you're someone who travels often, mentors other advisors, and shows up for your clients with so much care. How do you stay grounded and joyful in your own life?
It's a great question. It's definitely a lot, but I've just learned to balance my time. I think knowing that, okay, I start work at this time and I finish at this time, there's no exceptions is super important, especially with a husband and kids and a family. You have to set boundaries. Boundaries are super important in this industry. And you just got to be honest with your clients. Like, hey, I work till five, guys. If it's an emergency, yeah, of course, reach out to me. But if it's not, I won't get back into to you until the next business day. So just setting boundaries and knowing that that's okay is super important. And it's not easy at first. At first, you kind of stretch yourself thin, but the more you do it, the more grounded you'll stay and you'll understand kind of your schedule and knowing that's super important. And I that goes for any business, right? Not just being a travel advisor. We all have clients, and sometimes you feel like clients come first, which they do, but your family comes first, right?
Absolutely. So, where can people go to connect with you to learn more about your services, start planning their next unforgettable journey, or inquire how to join your team?
Yeah, so you can visit savatravel.com, find me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. I just started getting familiar with TikTok a little bit. So I'm hoping to create more of that and just content for people. We'll be launching a podcast in January, hopefully. So that will be an opportunity to kind of hear more about Sava Travel and our approach to the industry. Yeah, but Haley DeCarlo, you'll find me.
That's very exciting. Thank you, Haley, for your time, and we look forward to seeing more of you.
Yes, thank you so much, Melissa.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.